In this tutorial, I'm showing you step by step how to make a s'mores entremet unlike any s'mores cake you've seen before. I'll show you how to master 7 essential entremet layer techniques and how to build every layer of the cake from start to finish.
My name is Louise and I'm a self-taught cake artist and recipe developer. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create the most stunning s'mores cake with chocolate and brown butter. This video will teach you how to master 7 different entremet layer techniques. A moist brown butter cake, a crunchy toasted biscuit crunch with brown butter and caramel, a silky dark chocolate ganache with brown butter, a smooth toasted marshmallow fluff with marshmallows, a rich toasted marshmallow and caramel mousse, a shiny milk chocolate and white chocolate mirror glaze, and a toasted marshmallow fluff. You can find the full recipe on my website, which you can access with a subscription. If you want to learn more about how to make elegant, layered and delicious entremet cakes, you can now check out my online course, Master Entremet Cakes at Home, where I show you how to create professional quality cakes from start to finish, right from your own kitchen. Inside the course, I teach you my 5-step formula that I use for all my cakes: cake base, crunch, creamy element, mousse and decoration. You'll also learn how to make 5 of my signature entremet cakes, different glazing techniques, discover recipe development and cake design, and also receive PDF troubleshooting guides and Excel recipe course material, giving you everything you need to start creating your own cakes at home. Okay, let's get started!
The core elements of a traditional s'mores is of course marshmallow, biscuit and chocolate. Yet the chocolate flavor can quickly take over, so instead of making a chocolate cake base, I wanted to create something that instead supported the toasted warm notes you know from a s'mores. I therefore decided to make a brown butter cake to enhance the toasted flavor from s'mores and to add a hint of warm spices from cinnamon. To make the cake, I start out by mixing all the dry ingredients and add cinnamon. Then I'm making brown butter by heating butter in a pan until it has a dark caramelized color and smells nutty. Then the butter needs to cool until it has a more thick consistency, kind of like soft butter, where I stir it every 10 minutes while it cools. We can now whisk brown butter and sugar until it has a paler color and add eggs and vanilla paste. I add in the dry ingredients and lastly buttermilk and mix until just combined. Buttermilk is here what balances the sugar flavor in the cake while also ensuring that the cake stays moist. We then pour the dough into pastry rings and bake the cakes at 175 degrees for 13 to 17 minutes. Once the cakes have cooled, I cut off the top so they're 1.5 cm tall and put the first brown butter cake in a clean pastry ring with acetate sheet. We'll save the other cake for later. I then put the cake in the freezer while preparing the next layer. For the crunch element in this cake, I of course had to make a biscuit crunch layer to resemble the traditional s'mores. To highlight a toasted flavor note and to enhance the crunch, I decided to make a toasted biscuit layer with brown butter and caramel chocolate to also get a caramelized flavor in the crunch. I here start out by breaking biscuits into smaller crumbs and putting them in a plastic bag and lightly crushing them with my hand. I add liquid brown butter that I make in the same way as earlier and mix it with the biscuit crumbs. I add cinnamon for a warm flavor and bake the biscuits in the oven at 175 degrees for approximately 8 minutes until golden. Baking the biscuits makes them more crunchy and also gives the layer a toasted flavor. After the biscuits have cooled off, I mix in feuilletine for extra crunch and lastly melt the caramel chocolate that also will set up the crunch. I spread half of the crunch on top of the brown butter cake, level the layer, and put the cake back in the freezer where it needs to set before I can add the next layer. We'll save the rest of the crunch for later. For our third s'mores element, I wanted to make a rich chocolatey element to balance the sweetness from the other layers. I also wanted this element to have a super silky texture, similar to the piece of dark chocolate you put in between a biscuit and a marshmallow in a s'mores, which is why I decided to make a silky dark chocolate ganache with brown butter. To make the ganache, I start out by melting dark chocolate and pouring it in a bowl. I'm here using 55% dark chocolate to get a strong flavor, yet also not too bitter. I then heat heavy cream almost to a boil and pour it over the chocolate while stirring in the middle with a spatula. The ganache is poured in a tall jug where I add room temperature brown butter before hand blending it to get a fully smooth texture. The butter ensures that the ganache gets a smooth consistency and a toasted flavor note. The ganache needs to have a pipable texture when added to the cake, so I'm pouring it in a piping bag and let it thicken at room temperature. Now for our hero element of this cake, the marshmallow layer. I wanted this element to have the toasted marshmallow flavor that we know from a bonfire s'mores, a fluffy consistency like a melted marshmallow, and yet be stable enough to hold its shape inside an Entremet cake. I therefore decided to make a thick toasted marshmallow fluff with mini marshmallows to reach the right flavor and consistency. I make the marshmallow by whisking egg whites foamy with a hand mixer, adding sugar and whisking egg whites to soft peaks. We then heat glucose syrup, sugar and water to exactly 118 degrees. While whisking the egg whites, I pour the 118 degrees hot syrup in the egg whites and keep mixing until the marshmallow fluff is firm, cooled and glossy. I put some of the marshmallow fluff aside, as we'll use this for the mousse, and then add lots of mini marshmallows to the rest and stir to combine. To get a toasted flavor, I use a blowtorch to toast the marshmallow fluff and the mini marshmallows, stir to combine, and toast the layer yet again a few times to really get that s'mores flavor. I put the fluff in a piping bag, and then we are ready to assemble the cake. We have now prepared all our cake elements and are therefore ready to assemble all the layers. First, I pipe a 5mm thin layer of chocolate ganache on top of the set crunch layer. It's important here only to make a thin layer, as a too thick layer easily will overpower the other flavors in the cake. I then put the cake in the freezer for around 10 minutes, just so the surface can set. The secret to getting a clean cake cut for this cake is really to make sure that the surface of the layer is set before adding the next layer. I add a generous 2 cm layer of marshmallow fluff on top of the cake, level the surface and toast it with a blowtorch. You here need to be very careful with the blowtorch and only toast the marshmallow and not the acetate sheet, as it can melt or catch fire. Then the layer needs to set in the freezer for approximately 10 minutes before I add the second brown butter cake. I make sure to level all layers in between in order to get a sharp and clean cake cut. We can now add the remaining crunch layer, where I again level the layer and let it set in the fridge for approximately 10 minutes. A final layer of the dark chocolate ganache is added, where I level the surface with a spoon. After the surface has set in the freezer, I add a final layer of the marshmallow fluff that I again very carefully toast with a blowtorch. Then the cake needs to freeze fully overnight. To encase the cake, I wanted to combine warm flavor notes with marshmallow, which is why I decided to make a toasted marshmallow mousse with caramel chocolate. I initially thought about making a chocolate mousse, but decided against it, as I thought it would overpower the marshmallow and brown butter flavor. I therefore decided to focus the mousse on the main s'mores flavor, toasted marshmallow. I make the mousse by first melting caramel chocolate and pouring it in a bowl. I heat heavy cream to a boil, whisk in soaked gelatin that will set the mousse, and put the cream over the chocolate while stirring in the middle until it becomes glossy. I then prepare the marshmallow fluff I put aside earlier by toasting it with a blowtorch and combine it into the chocolate mixture. We can now whip heavy cream to soft peaks and fold it into the chocolate/marshmallow mixture. I line a silicone mold with acetate sheet as the cake will be taller than the mold, pour in the mousse, and put in the frozen cake with the marshmallow fluff facing downwards. I then pour a 2.5 cm layer of mousse in a smaller round mold that later will go on top of the cake. I decided to make this additional mousse to add some definition to the cake and also to resemble a marshmallow. I deliberately chose to use rounded shapes for both molds to resemble the shape of a round biscuit used to make s'mores. Then the cake and the mousse needs to freeze fully overnight. To make this the ultimate s'mores cake, I wanted to create a cake design that would resemble the colors of s'mores. I therefore decided to make a chocolate mirror glaze to resemble the chocolate flavor in a s'mores, and then to cover the mousse insert with a white mirror glaze to resemble the marshmallow color. I make the glaze by first putting milk chocolate in a tall jug, soaking gelatin sheets in cold water, and putting it aside while preparing the syrup. In a pot, I'm heating glucose syrup, sugar, water and heavy cream almost to a boil, whisking in soaked gelatin before pouring it over the chocolate. I mix with an immersion hand blender, add a bit of white food coloring paste and mix again. The glaze then needs to cool to 34 to 35 degrees before we can glaze the cake. Once the glaze has cooled, I place the fully frozen cake on a baking cooling rack and pour the 34 to 35 degrees hot glaze over the cake. I remove the glaze excess by moving the cake around the baking rack with 2 palette knives and place the cake on a cake plate. Now that the cake has been glazed, we can start preparing the glaze for the round mousse. I prepare the glaze in the same way as earlier and making a white glaze with white food coloring paste. Once the glaze has cooled to 34 to 35 degrees, I put over the frozen round mousse. I use 2 small palette knives to remove the glaze excess and carefully place it in the middle on top of the glazed cake. And then we can start preparing the final decoration. To match the color scheme of a s'mores, now that we have a chocolate and marshmallow colored mirror glaze, I wanted the chocolate decoration to resemble the biscuit element of a s'mores. I therefore made different chocolate ribbons with caramel chocolate that naturally has a biscuit-like color. To decorate the cake, I first put the whitest ribbon around the cake and then the second whitest ribbon. I also add a ribbon around the mousse to frame the different parts of the cake. Before placing the last ribbon, we first need to decorate the top of the cake with toasted marshmallows, so what you see visually outside the cake is also what you'll taste when eating the cake. I therefore make one last batch of marshmallow fluff in the same way as earlier, where I put the fluff in a piping bag with a large round pastry tip and pipe dots of marshmallow on top of the cake. I gently toast the marshmallow to create a toasted s'mores look and place the last chocolate ribbon around. To resemble the biscuits in s'mores, I'm placing round chocolate plates in different sizes that I make by pouring chocolate in between 2 acetate sheets, let it set, and then afterwards cut out circles in different sizes. I cut out plates in 3 different sizes and place 3 plates in the marshmallows. Lastly, I decorate with white flowers for a balanced cake look. And here we have the final cake that I really think looks exactly like a s'mores transformed into an entremet cake. From inside and out, this cake contains all the cake elements that we know from s'mores, here elevated into an elegant entremet cake.
This cake is honestly incredible because it tastes exactly like s'mores. It takes me back to sitting around a bonfire, having the biscuits with the marshmallow and also a bit of chocolate, which is exactly what we have here. The toasted marshmallow, the brown butter and the caramel is really what perfectly balances the whole cake, giving that like warm note, coziness. That is exactly what I wanted for this s'mores cake. I hope you get the chance to make this amazing s'mores cake at home. And if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe. You can also check out my Entremet cake playlist here. See you in the next video.